Hello and welcome to Filmmakers Forum. I'm your host, Chandra Habaker, and with us today we have Chris Bond to discuss his journey of becoming a director of photography. Hi, Chris.
Hello, Chandra.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm a Phoenix-based cinematographer. I shoot anything from infomercials all the way up to short films.
And what is your role in film?
I tell the story with visuals. I light and frame up for all the ideas that the director and I have talked about, and hopefully in the end it's clear as to what's happening in the movie, at least visually.
How did you get your start?
Well, I went to Scottsdale Community College Film School, where I learned to shoot on film and digital and just different aspects of filmmaking in general.
What is the biggest difference between film school and working professionally in this industry?
Probably just overall knowledge and speed. Usually at a film school, nobody really knows exactly what they want to be doing. And when you're in the professional world, everybody's pretty much in the spot that they're going to be for the rest of their careers. So they understand it and they move.
What is the biggest lesson that you learned from the SEC Film School?
Story. Nothing can be done without a story. That's where it starts, with the written word. And if you're going to make your ideas based off the story, it's probably not going to be all that great of a movie.
What are some projects you've been working on recently?
Well, about last week, actually, I shot a webisode series called Outside Man, and we're going to be finishing up shooting in a couple of weeks.
Fantastic. Let's take a look at some of your projects. So what is one of your favorite and most accomplished projects that you've worked on?
Probably the short film Afterlife. It was probably one of the first projects where everything really came together, from directing to acting to production design, cinematography. It actually won a couple awards at a few festivals, which was really cool. But overall, it was just a really great story, told really well.
How do you keep up with new developing technology?
The internet is a really great resource. You could find a bunch of different forums, talk with a bunch of different cinematographers from all around the world, and in our industry, everybody, or at least for cinematographers, sharing is probably #1 priority amongst DPs.
Do you prefer to shoot on digital or on film?
Film, without a doubt. I don't think that a story can be told in a digital format as well as you can with film.
What is your involvement with lighting?
Well, in prep, I usually talk with the director about what we're looking for, styles, stuff like that. I basically come up with what lights we're going to use, how we're going to use them, and what best to tell the story.
What has been one of the most challenging experiences you've had on set?
There was a shoot that I was on actually in the summertime, early summertime up north, where it was really chaotic. They didn't have an assistant director. They didn't even really have a production designer, and they had directors that didn't really know what they wanted out of their film. And because of it, not only did did the overall feeling on set suffer, but a lot of the crew suffered because of a lack of foresight.
Now, on the flip side, what's one of the most humorous things that's ever happened on set?
Probably, actually, when I was a gaffer, I was trying to find an outlet, and I went to the brake box to figure out a power scenario, and I actually electrocuted myself in the middle of a shot. So in the middle of the shot of a dramatic scene, the light just kind of slowly, and then comes back on.
What's the most challenging thing for you personally, being a DP?
Probably just trying to bring somebody else's idea to the forefront. I mean, I try and put in my input as much as possible, but at the end of the day, it's the director's story. And what he or she wants is what they should get. And sometimes it's a little easier than others, but I think in the whole scheme of things, that's probably the most difficult.
Now, speaking of the director, is there a quality that you look for in your directors that helps you with your job?
Passion. As long as they're passionate about what they want, what they're doing and what they want out of their film, it's gonna be a lot easier on me.
What do you love about being a director of photography most?
Telling a story. I've always loved to tell stories to friends, and since I've never had an ability to draw or paint at all, I could never do anything like that. So it was really fun to me to find something where I can paint, and in film I can paint with light.
In your opinion, what is the difference between a good DP and a great DP?
Experience. It just comes down to experience. There's really no right or wrong. It all comes down to taste. And generally, a DP that's been around for 20 to 25 years has experienced way more than somebody who's been around for 3 or 4.
So for upcoming cinematographers, do you have any advice you'd like to give?
Don't turn down jobs. I mean, this is a very competitive industry, and you gotta sometimes take the jobs that you don't really want to. It doesn't matter if it's an infomercial or a commercial for something that you don't really care about, because it's experience. It's time out in the field to hone your craft.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for joining us on the show today. To contact Chris, please email him at chrisbonddp08@yahoo.com. Thank you for joining us. I'm Chandra Habaker, and we'll see you next time on Filmmakers Forum.